What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. Thanks again for tuning in. As always, very much appreciated. In this video, we're going to be discussing level 2. It's been a long time since I put a video out on YouTube regarding level 2, so I figured I'd do a new and improved video for you guys. So there's a lot of questions revolving around level 2. How do you use it? What do you use it for? And so on. This video should cover that up for you guys and a little bit more. Now, there's a lot of videos online that will go over the basics of level 2, and I hope that this video goes into a little bit more detail on normally what most people don't touch on with level 2. So let's get into it. So here we are on this screen. We're just looking at a stock chart of NVIDIA. So what I want to talk about is the level 2, which is down here, and I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm just going to kind of pull this up. So down here is level 2. So if you're using Thinkorswim, all you got to do is click this little guy over here on the right, this little tab that says level 2, and that's how you're going to be able to pull this up. And you can decline it, open it, close it. So if you're using Thinkorswim, that's how you're going to pull up the actual level 2 on your chart. So why would you want to use this? And the reason you want to use it is it gives you more information, more data, so you can analyze that when you're trading. So the concept here is level 2. This is the bid, and this is the ask. So these are the buys or buyers, okay? And these are the sellers over here. So don't get that confused. Sometimes there's a misconception on which one's the buyers and which one's the sellers, but I can promise you the bid equals buyers and ask equals sellers. Just if you're, same thing if you're gonna go to an auction, right? The bidder, person bidding the price for the product or whatever it is that they're bidding on, that would be the buyer. And then the seller is the person asking X amount of dollars for the item. Hence, they're the asker or the seller, okay? So left is buyers and right is going to be sellers, all right? So it gives you more data, so it helps you kind of understand what's going on in the stock and how do you use to analyze that. So for one, let's cover it. These are just the different exchanges here. You see NASDAQ, ARCA, EDGX, and BATS. Those are the actual different exchanges, okay? In the middle here is going to be price, and this here is going to be share count. All right, so we have to understand is what's on the right is the amount of shares trying to be purchased at that given moment in time. And on the right, where you see the amount of shares on the seller's side, those are the amount of shares that are trying to be sold at any given time throughout the day at whatever price that the stock happens to be at. All right. I'm going to show you an example here. Ready? So we're going to show you what it's like when I put an order through on this window. I have to change something over here real fast. Add items. Okay. Boom, boom. And this little process you just see me do, that's exactly how you would format your order to go through an after hours or pre-market trading. Literally those couple little steps I just did. All right, so let's go into here. Ready? I'm going to place an order on the video here for 100 shares. And when I do so, you're going to see my order come up on the level 2. Ready? We're going to put my order right in between here, right in between these guys. Ready? You see my order is now down here in green, and it shows number 1. All right, so you can see that there. That is my order going in, and if I cancel it and take it off, it goes off. So right there, I just showed you what the purpose or what level 2 does. When someone like me or someone like you or anybody coming into the market placing an order, the level 2 will show that. Ready? Let's go and do it again. I place this order here for 100 shares. And now you can see that my 100 shares has now been added to the level 2. All right. Now let's make this clear. By the number count, you see when I put in 1, really I'm buying 100 shares, but it shows 1. So on the level 2, 100 shares is equal to 1. All right. If we did 2,000 shares, it would show up as 20. And if we did 10,000 shares, it would show up as 100 here on the level 2. So do understand how that kind of count works. If you do 100 shares, it shows up as 1. If you do 2,000 shares, it would show up as 20. So this person right here at $169.20 with the 20 there, that's a 2,000 share order. Now that order could be coming from 20 different people or one person altogether. So you don't know for sure if that's one person trying to buy 2,000 shares or if that's 20 people all trying to buy 1 share at the price of $169.20. Okay, so there's this conception, or sorry, there's this idea out there that the level 2 really helps you determine when something's about to move, which it can in regards to understanding when it's getting stacked and when there's a lot of buyers in comparison to sellers. So what we mean by that is when you're looking at the level 2, and as I just showed you, when I put my order in here, you'll see I'm now in the level 2. So when you're watching level 2 throughout your trading day, and all of a sudden, you see a lot of orders flooding in here on the bid side, that can usually be a strong indication that the price action on that stock is going to move higher. Not all the time, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But when you see a lot of buyers coming in on the level 2, on the bid side, it can be an indication that the prices are going to therefore increase. Now, when you're looking at the level 2 and you see a bunch of buyers coming in, and then you look at the stock chart and the stock chart looks extremely bullish, like it's about to break out, then yeah, that's probably a good indication of a buy. But if you're looking at the chart and it's looking really bearish and all of a sudden you see a big buy order coming in on the level 2, that might be one of those times where you say, maybe not the best indication that the price is going to go up. So you still have to use common sense as well to dictate when you might be getting a good reading or might be getting a false reading from level 2. And that is something that you will develop better as time goes on as a trader. This is something you're going to develop over time just through experience of being in the market. So next thing we want to talk about. So very common you'll see in videos is whenever you see a lot of buyers coming in on the level 2, it could be a good indication of buying. But that's not the only thing that level 2 shows you. And what I mean by that is when you're looking at level 2, you can actually tell when there's a stronger level of support or a weaker level of support, or there's strong resistance or weak resistance. And what I mean by that is level 2 shows stacking. What we call stacking is this. So you see here on the first one, we have 169.21 and someone's trying to buy 100 shares. And if you look down here at the next level, you see 169.20 and there's someone trying to buy 2,000 shares. All right. And then below that is 169.11, somebody trying to buy 1,600 or who knows, right? But what you see here, you see these bottom two, it says 169.11, and the bottom one here shows 169.11. So you can think of level 2 almost as stories of floors. And now bear with me here, okay? Imagine you were standing in a building. No, let's just say it's an unfinished building. It's in new development, right? And you're on the very, there's a 40-story building, and you're on the top. Imagine trying to take a bowling ball and drop it through 40 floors, right? Trying to get the bowling ball to break each level of those floors. It's probably not going to happen because we all know that a bowling ball is probably not going to break through a concrete floor. But let's just, play a fun game here and say that the floors were made out of drywall or something, right? It would be much easier for the bowling ball to break through maybe 1 or 2 stories of that flooring, right, of the drywall, but to break through 40 floors of the drywall, now that might be a little bit of a challenge, right? Trying to get it to break down all of those floors. So when you're looking at level 2 and you see that there's a lot of people all trying to buy at one specific price, so let's say it's $1, right? You have a ton of people all trying to buy at $1, it's creating a floor. Right, a floor of buyers. And then when you look to the right and you look at your sellers and you realize there's only a couple people trying to sell at $1.01, it's clear that there's more buyers than there are sellers within that close proximity of pricing, so that's a strong indication there might be a buy. And it doesn't work very well showing you right now in after hours trading because we're not as active. But if this was real time in the real market, let me show you. Ready? I'm going to do it right now. Okay, I'm going to create a floor of buying pressure, theoretically, just for the purposes of this video. Right, so I'm going to put in an order to buy one right here, buy 100. Okay, you see how my order comes up there? And then I'm going to put in another order. Right, I could put in an order here, here, here. You see what I'm doing? I'm creating floors of support. Now it looks like there's a bunch of people trying to buy at 168.97, 160.98, 168.99, 169. You get it? I'm creating floors of support through buying, okay? Now, this can also happen as well. You might come across your level 2 and see 169, 169, 169, 169, 169, because during the active trading day, I may not be the only person trying to buy shares at $1.69. You might, he might, she might, the pet might, whoever, right? All may all may be trying to buy shares at $1.69. And if that's the case, what it's going to look like is something like I just did here. You're going to see a bunch of orders all stacking up at one price. And if you look on the left and see that there really aren't that many sellers, that can be an indication of a buy. Now we'll come back and I'll do another video when we're actively in the trading day to see if I can come up with a great example to show you guys rather than what I've shown you so far, to hopefully clear up if there's any little bit of confusion. Most important part here. A lot of you guys will be saying, Connor, I've been watching level 2 and every once in a while I'll see a really big order come through, and doesn't that mean that the stock price should go higher? I've bought and then the stock price goes down. There is something that's called spoofing, and it's a legal practice of basically manipulating the time and, or not manipulating the time and sales, but manipulating the level 2 to make other traders think that the prices are going higher when in reality they're not. So if you're not familiar with it, look up what's called spoofing. I could do it right now and I'll show you. And again, this is just for the purposes of this video, completely educational. There's no way, shape, or form that I'm trying to spoof any type of order in a legal manner. This is for learning and educational purposes. So you can see here that there's buyers, right? These are buyers, right? You see the 17, right? You see the 17, go look down here, right? 16, right? At 169.22 and 169.22. 16 and 1 equals 17, okay? See right here, 20, just below him, 20 at 169.20, right? So this is what some people do in the market. It's called spoofing. What they'll do is they're going to put out a really big order. So we'll increase this to 300 shares, right? So during the active trading day, somebody might come in and they already have a position in the stock, right? They're already long the stock, or they could already be short a stock, okay? And they want the price to go higher or they want the price to go lower, depending if they're short or long. In this particular scenario, we'll say long biased. So someone may already be long the stock, okay? And they want it to go higher, and of course they want to sell their shares. Now something they might do, now of course the only way the prices on that stock are going higher is if people start buying it, right? I mean, prices can't go higher unless there's demand and people buy. So what is something we could do to possibly trick people into buying up shares? We could put out a really big order that will show up on the level 2 to the public, right? So everybody's going to see this really big order come out, and they're going to think that there's this really big buyer trying to buy up the shares. So when you see this big buyer come in, you're going to go, well, if he's trying to buy, then this means the price definitely is going up. So if I want to get in, I have to get in before him. Because if he gets filled and then I try and get filled, the prices will have moved higher and I'm not going to be getting a good deal. So this is what we call spoofing, where in the active trading day, someone may already be long a stock, right? And they'll put out this big order. Ready? You see my order comes in there, but let's say they put out something outrageous, 10,000, 20,000 shares. All of a sudden you see a big number like 100 or 200 pop up on the level 2. And that makes you think that the prices are going higher. But in reality, he's just putting that order out there to make you think prices are going higher so that you start buying the stock and force the stock up while he's selling. So what he's going to do, and this is what we call manipulation, he will put out an order, okay? And it's going to look really big on the level 2, and it's going to trick you into thinking that somebody's trying to buy a lot of shares. Now, the only way you can get in before him is if you put your order above him. So you can see how we'll say that this 300 share is the really big buyer, and he's trying to trick us into thinking that the prices are going higher. Well, if you want to get in, you need to do what? You got to put an order above his, like this. You have to put in the order above his, right? And now he's making it work. Now people are starting to jump his order and prices are going to start increasing. And then what's he going to do? He's going to come down here and he's going to cancel his big order, and all of a sudden it gets taken off the level 2, and sometimes you'll see prices drop shortly thereafter. It's called spoofing. I hope that was a good enough example to show you guys, but that is what will happen. People will put out massive orders, and it works both ways. Ready? I could go up here and be like, "Hey, I'm going to sell a ton of shares, right? Make everybody think I'm trying to sell a bunch of shares, and then people are going to try and get out before me, so they'll start jumping me, and it will cause just kind of a snowballing effect theoretically." So Level 2 can be used to identify where there's strong levels of support based on how many people may be trying to buy at one specific price. And look at this. These are levels. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are just all different levels. So when you say level 2, they're literally levels. And you can think about them as stories of floors. The more stories of floors that you have of buyers trying to buy at one specific price makes it harder for the stock price to fall below that specific price because you have so many buyers sitting there trying to buy shares. And if those buyers are outweighing the sellers, then there's a strong chance or indication prices could be moving higher. Now, this is going to take you some time to learn, and it's going to take you a lot of practice to get it down basically as well as I've explained it, but I hope this video helps. I hope it makes you think a little bit differently about the way you might be using level 2 here in the future. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And one thing I would like to hear from you guys in the comment section is, how often, or do you truly believe that people manipulate level 2 just as I've shown you throughout the day? Leave it in the comment section below if you've ever seen this typical situation so that you can share that with other people and hopefully kind of create a little message blog in this video. So if you've seen that type of action on the level 2, leave it in the comment section below. I'd love to read it. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.